Hi, today is July 5th, 2026, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1032 for the year, The First Cat Video. The Criterion Channel has an absolutely beautiful film that I watched last month called Lumière, le cinéma. It's a documentary consisting of 120 films, each about 50 seconds long, all or mostly made in the late 19th century, credited to Auguste and Auguste Lumière, although actually created by Auguste. Le Chat Qui Joue is from 1899, and the narrator of the documentary called it a cat video, which it is. It's a cat by a window playing with a toy for about 50 seconds. It's not one of the more beautiful films in the documentary, but it certainly has its charm. Auguste Lumière looked for motion wherever he was, and he captured it for all of us, and in so doing, he gave us an impossibly beautiful gift, and the first cat video. Poem number 1033, The Very, Very Beginning. As a child, my mom would take me to see films by Chaplin and the Marx Brothers, and I loved them, but they were so badly preserved with splotches and scratches, and it never occurred to me that there was a time when those films didn't look like that. In my 20s in college, I saw several films by Auguste Lumière and Méliès and others, and I had the same thought, or lack of thought, that these were how the films were and how they had always been. But now, many of these films have been meticulously restored, and I can see what the people who first watched them saw in them. And it is easy to understand how audiences embraced the cinema from the very, very beginning. Poem number 1034, Haiku Are Easy, Part 67. Oligarchies and Democratic Republics and Anarchism. Poem number 1035, Red, White, and Blue, number 7. Back in the day, Charles Burr wrote the 3 cheers for the Red, White, and Blue lyrics to John Philip Sousa's The Stars and Stripes Forever. The lyrics are truly awful, and I say that as the author of some truly awful lyrics myself. It is hard to believe Burr's words ever inspired feeling in anyone, but one thing the lyrics may have inspired me to do is to stop writing red, white, and blue poems. Poem number 1036, Incremental Excitement. The excitement came in increments. First, it was only a little exciting, like barely exciting at all. Then it became a bit more exciting, although still not crazy exciting, just somewhat exciting. Then it became clearly exciting, like almost uncontainable. Then it became uncontainably exciting. And then it became crazy exciting, and then all hell broke loose. And when all hell broke loose, well, it doesn't get much more exciting than that, although it did get more exciting. It is important to note that the excitement came in increments, which may have made the excitement less exciting than it might have been if it had happened all at once, but no one complained about the incremental nature of the excitement. Poem number 1037, Excited Excrement. The excrement looked forward to dropping into the bowl and then taking the water slide ride down to the depths of who knows where. Well, actually everyone knows where, except for the excrement, which even as we speak is making its slow, good Heinz ketchup-like journey into the bowl, soon to be flushed into the beyond. And the last poem of the day, poem number 1038, An Open Question. That previous poem was possibly the first time anyone has ever engaged in the art of personification with regard to excrement, but rather than being proud, I mean in a poem, because obviously there's Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Pooh, right? The previous poem was probably the first time ever anyone has ever engaged in the art of personification with regard to excrement in a poem. But rather than being proud, I'm doubly ashamed. Ashamed that I hadn't thought to do it before, and ashamed that I thought to do it at all. But this morning I was reading, and I read the word excitement, and it made me think of the word excrement, which made me think of excited excrement, which then made me think of excitement coming in increments, so I wrote that one and the next one, and here we are. Just last month I personified piss. See poem number 881. Pissed. So this wasn't completely unprecedented. And I've always thought that the ketchup in those slow, good Heinz commercials emerged from the bottle in an excremental manner. So I believe in retrospect that it was only a matter of time before the previous poem was written in some form or another, provided, of course, that I lived long enough. Of course, whether it's a good thing that I lived long enough to have written such a silly and arguably disgusting poem is an open question. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.